Hey guys, so today I want to talk about attachment styles, especially because I'm seeing a lot of people really using it as a form of understanding self, which is exactly what it's there for. I think it's a fantastic tool to help you understand why you respond and react the way you do in particular situations. But I also want to give you just a few key points today that might help you A, use it better, and B, not just tarnish things in black and white. Because that sort of brings me to my first point. There seems to be an element of labels and labeling, whether it's yourself, your partner, your friends, anyone else. When you're trying to understand behavior, there's a tendency to want to put people in a box and that they're a specific attachment style. That's not very helpful because then we expect them to show up in the way that we've labeled them, and we expect us to show up in the way that we've labeled ourselves. So keep in mind, attachment styles is a useful tool to understand why you're behaving the way you are. It's not about diagnosing. This leads me straight into my second point is you can swap attachment styles at any given time in any given situation. So, for example, you might show up in an anxious, codependent sort of attachment style in one relationship, say a romantic relationship, and then might be in a relationship with your parents, you're the avoidant style. And we don't need to go into all of the labels today. That's not really the point. My point here is it's not black and white. You're not one or the other. You may show up in particular areas in your life in one way. You may show up in another. Da 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 da. You're fluid. You're transient. You're going to change and swap and switch. And it's a part of noticing you're not just one thing or another, but noticing how you show up in different places in different ways. My third point is one that maybe you haven't thought about before, but I think it's pretty important. Potentially, you are showing up in a certain relationship feeling anxious and feeling like you're going into that anxious attachment style. But maybe that's actually your intuition guiding you for what's happening with that person. Maybe you are showing up in that way because the person that you're in interaction with, maybe they're not safe. Maybe this is your intuition coming through and guiding you accordingly. So we tend to, and I love that people want to look at themselves because that's the whole point of personal development and spiritual development and mental and emotional health is to understand yourself so that you can see who you are and peel back all of the layers and look at your part to play in everything. But don't forget, you are not the totality of every single relationship that you're in. You're only 50% of it. Give yourself a little bit of a break. Maybe you are actually responding accordingly to the situation that you're currently in. So maybe it's not actually worth labeling yourself in that moment. This leads me to my final thoughts. I mean, obviously I've got lots because I do. But this leads me to my final points today that use attachment styles as another tool of self-understanding, because the whole purpose is that when you notice a behavior about yourself or something that you want to change about yourself, it's up to you to do the things you need to do to change it. And learning these styles helps bring you into awareness. And that's what it's for. Because no one is responsible for making any changes in your life other than you. You're the person that's responsible. So if you're showing up a certain way, if you're behaving a certain way, then it's up to you to do the work and put the effort in to make the changes. And that goes in any area of your life, whether it's health or wellness or absolutely anything. It's up to you to do the work. So use attachment styles as a tool. Don't get caught up in the labels. Check in and see if you're actually responding accordingly to the situation, and take that responsibility for making the changes in your life that you want to see, and be the version of you that you want to be. Now, I know attachment styles can bring up a lot in people. So if you would like to chat about this, send me a DM or pop some info in the comments, because I'd love to hear from you. And I'll chat with you all again soon.